After the daughter of Queen Ballerina Cappucina was kidnapped by the creepy dancing doll Ambalaboo. 5 devil fruit warriors unite! They rushed to Queen Ballerina's castle, not for tea, but for a super-secret rescue mission codenamed Operation Choco Milk, without thinking twice, because honestly, they're more muscle than brain. They jump into a dimension portal, but when they land, wait, why is it so hot? They ended up in the desert. Definitely not where creepy dolls live. And then, boom! They're ambushed by something strange. Anomali top tobi tob! At first, the knights laugh. What is this? A cursed marshmallow? But suddenly, uh-oh, why are there thousands? They're surrounded! It's like a flash sale gone wild, with monsters riding camels. Now only one question remains. Will Tung Tung Sahur with his wood element powers save the day? Smash that like if you're on his team. Or Tralalelo Tralala the waterbender? Drop a yes in the comments if he's your pick. Or maybe Bombardilo Crocodilo, the fire-wielding crocodile knight. Hit subscribe if he's your champion. Want to see what happens next? Comment your favorite emoji below. After Queen Ballerina Cappucina sent 5 knights to save her son, suddenly, they were confronted by thousands of Toby anomalies. With the power of Bombardilo Crocodilo, the fire controller, thousands of Toby anomalies were burned to ashes with none left. This is the power of Bombardilo Crocodilo, the fire controller. When all the Toby anomalies were burned to nothing, suddenly, boom! The king of Toby anomalies appeared and attacked all the knights, sending the knights flying, and they were easily defeated. But Tralalelo Tralala didn't give up easily. He unleashed his power and transformed into level 100. Tralalelo Tralala. He released his water-controlling power, triggering a giant wave, ready to strike the Toby anomalies. Tralalelo Tralala, the water controller, battled fiercely. But the Toby anomalies were hit by Tralalelo Tralala's Omnac attack. After a long battle, Tralalelo Tralala finally defeated the Toby anomaly, with a sword stuck in the throat of the Toby anomaly. But unexpectedly, a sudden attack struck Tralalelo Tralala. Who is the anomaly that easily defeated Tralalelo Tralala? Try to guess in the comments, who is it? Who will save the 5 knights? Subscribe to find out the next chapter of the story. Tralalelo Tralala, at level 100, had just defeated the anomaly Toby with his incredible water-controlling powers. But suddenly, someone attacked Tralalelo Tralala. Who was it? The one who rendered the knights powerless? It turned out to be the anomaly Chimpanzini Bananini. Just as he was about to end it all, the crystal belonging to Tung Tung Sahur began to glow and exploded with a brilliant light. Fueled by the spirit of resistance, Tung Tung Sahur was revealed to have survived. Now he had ascended to level 100 power. Without hesitation, Tung Tung Sahur launched an attack on Chimpanzini Bananini using his power of wood element manipulation. The wood moved swiftly, instantly binding Chimpanzini Bananini's body. But for Chimpanzini, it was far too easy, because he was actually a lightning controller. With ease, he broke free from the wooden constraints and struck back at Tung Tung Sahur. A fierce battle erupted between the lightning element of Chimpanzini Bananini and the wood element of Knight Tung Sahur. Despite their immense powers, Chimpanzini Bananini was ultimately defeated. However, Tung Tung Sahur was left exhausted and powerless. But unexpectedly, a knight appeared to save Tung Tung Sahur. It was none other than Cappucino Assasino, who had come to aid the 5 knights. He is the trusted knight of the King and Queen Ballerina Cappucina. Subscribe for the next story. After the fierce battle between Chimpanzini Bananini and Tung Tung Sahur, Chimpanzini Bananini was defeated, and Tung Tung Sahur collapsed from exhaustion. Suddenly, Cappucino Assasino, a trusted knight of the Queen, arrived. With all the knights wounded and fallen, Cappucino Assasino unleashed his healing powers, restoring the strength and life of the fallen warriors. Thanks to Cappucino Assasino, the knights were saved, their strength fully restored. They decided to camp there and plan a new strategy to face their enemy. Night fell, the wind whispered, and the campfire blazed a silent witness to the epic battle to come. Now Cappucino Assasino becomes the captain of the Anomaly Squad, on a mission to rescue the Queen's child, Ballerina Cappucina. Will these 6 knights succeed in their mission? Write in the comments below. Do you think they can? They must face King Glorbo Frutadillo, the tyrant who has imprisoned Ballerina Cappucina's child. King Glorbo Frutadillo has never lost a single battle in the history of kingdoms. Can the 6 knights of Queen Ballerina Cappucina's realm save her child? Subscribe for the next chapter of this epic tale. After defeating countless enemies, the knights finally reached the Glorbo Frutadillo castle to rescue the child of Ballerina Cappucina. At last, King Glorbo Frutadillo was ready to face the knights. But then he laughed, because it turned out he had invited the knights himself. Suddenly, he summoned a dangerous dimensional portal. The portal sucked the knights in. Along with Cappucino Assasino, they were thrown into a deadly forest by the dimensional rift. They continued their journey, but suddenly they were blocked by thousands of Ambalabu dolls. Bombombini Gusini unleashed the power of his sword, scattering the Ambalabu dolls in fear. Brrr Brrr Patapim unleashed his own powers, causing chaos among the dolls. And Tralalelo Tralala also revealed his power, sending the Ambalabu dolls running in terror. Then, out of the darkness appeared a figure that summoned a level. Oh, 1,000 monster? Which knight team would you choose? Like for Team Tralalelo Tralala, Cappucino Assasino, and Tung Tung Sahur. Subscribe if you're choosing Team Brrr Brrr Patapim, Bombardilo Crocodilo, and Bombombini Gusini. Tell us in the comments, do you believe they can defeat that monster? After defeating thousands of terrifying, thick-furred anomalies, the 5 powerful knights of the kingdom stood victorious. But now the knights had to raise their power level to 150 to face the monstrous dark dragon, whose strength had reached level 1,000. Without warning, the anomaly known as the Dark Dragon launched a brutal attack, causing a massive explosion. The knights fought back with all their might. Tung Tung Sahur unleashed his wood-controlling powers, instantly binding the dark dragon's body and transforming it into a tree. Suddenly, from behind, Cappucino Assasino appeared, ready to strike. With a sword glowing in a violet aura, Cappucino Assasino launched a fierce attack. But the blow did nothing. The dark dragon remained unfazed. Now Cappucino Assasino was in grave danger. He began chanting a powerful incantation to suppress the dragon's immense power. As he spoke the spell, the sky split open. Purple lightning crackled through the heavens. While waiting for Cappucino Assasino to finish his spell, Brrr Brrr Patapim held off the dragon's dark energy with all his strength. Will Cappucino Assasino defeat the dark dragon with his incantation? Subscribe for the next exciting chapter. In the previous episode, Cappucino Assasino recited a magic spell to unleash his power, which had almost reached 95%. Brrr Brrr Patapim! He was suddenly struck down by the giant dragon. Then Tung Tung Sahur unleashed his ability to split himself in order to fight the colossal dragon. An intense battle erupted between them and the terrifying beast. Tung Tung Sahur summoned his fire and lightning powers, but unfortunately, his strength was still not enough to defeat the monstrous dragon. Meanwhile, Cappuccino's spell neared completion, 98%, as a massive portal in the sky released terrifying bolts of lightning. The giant dragon launched a fierce attack on Cappucino Assasino, but Bombombini Gusini quickly unleashed his sword-controlling power with a purple aura to block the monster's attack. However, using that power drained Bombombini Gusini's strength, and the dragon roared again, spewing its destructive energy. Fortunately, Cappuccino Assassino's spell reached 100%. With its completion, he transformed, ready to face the beast head-on. Suddenly, a gigantic hand emerged from the clouds and struck the dragon. A massive explosion erupted, and the dragon fell, defeated by Cappuccino Assasino. But the victory came at a cost. Cappuccino Assasino collapsed from exhaustion, and the other knights were left in critical condition. The skies cleared, signaling the end of the battle, but Cappuccino Assasino and his companions remained gravely injured.